And today's episode is a little different. It's a recording from a previous virtual summit I had the privilege of speaking at. Now, the talk is geared towards salon owners and salon stylists, but I know you can take away some nuggets, especially if you do not have a website and you're still looking to build your authority online. Take a listen. Hey there, grab your coffee and let's talk business. How to grow it, how to sustain it, and how to harness the wonderful World Wide Web to do it. With me, your host, Jennifer Sikowski. Let's get started.
Alrighty, so let's try this again. So we had some technical difficulties, but thank goodness for technology, even when it's being a pain, because we're able to come into Zoom and record this, which is amazing. So it'll be even better. We can post this in the group and everyone can watch it back. But I don't know if anyone caught the beginning part of our conversation. If not, today's guest, day 2 of the virtual summit, In Demand Virtual Summit, is Jennifer Sikowski, who is the founder of Rainy Day Design, and she is also an online marketing strategist, and I'm so excited to have her here. She's a dear friend of mine. She's helped me out so much in my salon business, my salon website, as well as my personal website as well. She's just such a genius when it comes to all things designing and marketing, and you just are such a bright light. I'm so excited for you to share with my community today all of the things. So why don't you go ahead, introduce yourself, let people know who you are, what you do, and what you're most passionate about.
All right. Thank you so much. I love you too, first of all. Thank you for such a sweet introduction. I'm so excited to be a part of your group. Basically, the first thing that comes to mind when you had said, what are you most passionate about? Obviously, it's like Jesus and coffee, because that fuels my life. Outside of that, for business, as you mentioned, I have Rainy Day Design. It's a creative marketing agency. We're almost turned the Big 10 since I launched that biz baby. And I am most passionate about with my team is helping businesses leverage the internet, basically, on how they can rain leads to their website. So we talk all about digital marketing, SEO, web design. Basically, we're a full service marketing agency. On the other side, I am very passionate about helping women who are building businesses or maybe raising babies. Maybe it's both, like I am, and how that they tackle their home front on how they can get themselves together, embrace the mess, and that they can really shine and succeed with their businesses that they're launching. So it really is twofold. So I'm excited to be here to talk about how you leverage all the things in building your online authority.
Awesome. I love that so much. And before we even get started in that, I just want to, piggyback on a couple of things that you said, because I think that we're all here to learn about these, social media strategies and how do we get all of that. But I think the other piece about what you said is just that embrace the mess, be who you are and be authentic. And I think authenticity, especially in your online presence, is so incredibly important. And so I love seeing you do your thing while you're embracing the mess and you have little ones at home and you're running a business. And I think that's just super encouraging that the message is coming from somebody who's going through life just like a lot of us are. And even if you don't have kids, we all have things that we're juggling while we're trying to grow our career. And it's just such an amazing message. So thank you for just being you and sharing that little piece on top of just everything else that you're going to share today. So I will open up the stage for you and I will go ahead and let you take it away. I'll be taking notes while you're talking too. So
thank you. Yes. If you hear screaming in the background, we're at home right now. There's littles. So let's talk about building your authority online. Yesterday, you heard, and there was a little nugget that I wanted to bring to life today, is that even though you're behind the chair, you're still a leader. And that spoke to me going into today, because I really believe that no matter who you are and what field that you're in, obviously we're talking primarily in your industry today, but it doesn't matter that you have the capability to utilize social media to build your authority. Now, what does that mean? This is my take, all right? I believe even if you're not in the salon right now, you can still start building your following, your presence. So when you step into the salon, that you're able to be better for COVID happening. And I know that's like, oh, that's a hefty goal, right? Well, today I have 3 points, and I'm going to try to keep it. I told Kristen I'm coming in with a bang, but I want to make sure that y'all understand that the capabilities of utilizing social media. Social media is free. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, like it's free for you to use. It's just going to take a little creativity. So the number one thing when I'm talking about whether it's a business, established business with 100 people, employees, to the mama who's building out the business at home, to you behind the chair, it's the same thing, is that you have to show up. So what does that mean? Well, you can't just say, here I am, I know how to do hair, I'm really good at doing. No, you got to show up. You have to bring your presence with it. Because I know that just from knowing Kristen, because Kristen manages this going on top of my head, I know that as a stylist, you have your own flair, right? You have your own flavor, what you bring to the chair, what you bring to the people who are sitting in the chair. So I want to challenge you to, we'll get to about creating content, but I want to challenge you is to harness that confidence when you're helping someone navigate what they want for their style to your social media profiles. I want you to bring your authentic self. Now, as I mentioned on the Embracing the Mess, I'm all for bringing all of the mess, all the authenticity behind it. So whether it's maybe you're at home and you don't have much to go off of, but girl, boy, whoever you are, I know that you have before and after photos, right? I know you probably have the capability of pulling up your phone and doing your own before and after. Maybe it's a tutorial. Maybe you're just sharing about you and some of the products that you love and you can't wait to get back to. Whatever it is, I just want you to share it. I just want you to show up and start talking about it. Start posting pictures, because no one will know who you are unless you show up. So, and it's the same thing offline as it is online. So that's my number one point, because I get a lot of questions about, Jen, how do I get people to buy from me? You got to show up. You got to step it up. Because the thing is, and if you think that other people, oh, there's so many stylists out there that have awesome Instagram feeds, awesome. I don't care. They're not you. I'm coming to Kristen. Sorry.
No, I just love where this is going. And I was just going to say that I feel like that is such a good point. There's so much talent out there that what I see happen is that stylists will go on and go to post some of their work, or they'll hold back from posting because it's not quite as good as somebody else's, or maybe they're afraid to just step into fully embracing like who they are and putting that out into the world, like on their social media. So I just love this conversation because it's so relevant. And I think it's just that simple piece of just show up is like, oh my God, it's so simple. And it was just like, even if it's not perfect, just show up, just put it out there. Everyone has to start somewhere, right?
Yes, absolutely. I went through it and I launched my personal brand. I had to make an own challenge for myself in February. It was called No Fear February, that I made myself. No one else joined in this. It was for me, because I knew I had to rip off that Band-Aid to get through my own self-doubt, my own talk about worrying about what people are going to say, or maybe it's not good enough, or maybe I don't have a great filter, or whatever it may be. It doesn't matter. Just post, because what's different in you will attract people who want what you have. So that's where we just have to post it. And let's be honest, it's a very, very crowded space. So once you post it, most likely they're going to be moving on to the next. That's why we have to show up consistently. That's why we have to keep coming back up to get their attention. So this is what I am most passionate about, because as I'm talking to like the mamas in the group, or the people who are trying to do offline and online and just get in your house, and or like, it's the same thing. If we want change to occur, if we want people to notice, we have to take action. And for today's encouragement to you is just to show up. I just want you to post something. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get. I promise you. And the quicker it will be for you, because you won't be second guessing yourself before you post. You're just going to get it out the door. The second point that I want to bring today is create content. So if we're going to show up, so we're already like preparing ourselves, right? We're in the mindset that we're going to share our tutorial. We're going to talk about the products that we use. We're going to talk about just what we like and what we don't like, and just our thoughts. So you're going to create that content. If you think of it as like the who, what, where, we already talked about the how we have to show up. This is the what. So what do we create? And that's where I think, and I was truly struggling with this because it's really easy when I look at businesses and but in your industry, I think that you have to get creative. I think that, and Kristen, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think that you have an ideal person who sits in your chair. I think that just like, man, if I could have 25 of these people in my chair a month, or not probably a month, a week, a day, I don't know how many people you see, but whatever it is, I think that you have that ideal person, that ideal customer, right? I want you to talk to that person. I want you to hone in who they are, what they're about, maybe what they do for work, maybe what their style is. And if you really want to peel back and get into the meat of marketing, it's all about knowing who your target is. It's picking out. And I was thinking, maybe I shouldn't bring this to the table, but now I'm in it, is that I believe, especially even if you may not be a salon owner, but you're still an owner of who comes in that chair and how you represent yourself, right? So I believe that you can draw those people out to you if you speak to them, and even if it's on social media. So what does that mean? So how do we put that together? That means if you know that type of person, and I'm just going to go off of, I'm going to talk to me. So I'm going to pretend like I'm Kristen wanting to attract more gens. So let me tell you who I am. I am the person who will come in your chair and be like, I don't care what you have to do. Just make it low maintenance, but make me look like I'm high maintenance. Wow. I'm that person. And Kristen's laughing because she knows that's exactly what I tell her. I don't want to put a lot of effort. Girl, this is yesterday's hair, and I just did the front to make it look presentable for my meetings today. Good. So that's the kind of look I need. So for Kristen, some ideas of how she can attract me on social media is tutorials, easy tutorials. Use words like how to half up, I don't know what even the words are, but in 5 minutes. Or it's just, I want quick and dirty. I want post that messy buns. I want how to use the products that I have, or at home, whatever it is. I want them tutorials. That's how you attract me. So what you have to do, it's for when you're creating your content, work backwards. Work backwards from what you know who you're trying to get in that chair, and break it down. Who are they? What gender are they? Where do they hang out with? What's their hair like? What kind of products that they use? And then start brainstorming what you would tell them when they're in your chair.
I love this so much, Jen. This is so spot on, and it's such a great, because another thing that we run into is I don't know what to post. I feel like I post the same thing all the time. But I think finding, knowing your target market and actually viewing yourself as an owner, regardless if you are an employee in a salon, if you're a booth runner, a salon owner, whatever your situation may be, we are all selling something, right? Mm-hmm. What you're covering right now is so spot on, especially for stylists, zeroing in on who your target client is. Who's your ideal client? Who's that perfect person? And start creating content for that person. I love that. And so
absolutely
sharing that. It's so good. So good.
So, and to drive home this even more is, so when we talk about target, you have to know what you're good at. So whatever you like, whatever you know that, man, I got that thing, right? Whether it's color, whether it's, I once again, don't know what the words you use, but whatever it is that is your thing that sets you apart and that you know that you're good at, drive that home. because it's okay to be really good at one thing. Now, obviously, y'all have to be good at a lot of different things when you're behind the chair, but there can be that one thing that you stand out at. You stand out at. So, and I want you to just drive that. So it's like you've got you have your ideal target, your ideal customer that you want in your chair. And then you like start coming up with, well, what sets me apart that I'm going to attract them because I'm speaking to them. Then you drive that home because that's going to make you stand out in this crowded space. If you hone into your skill sets, I call it the sweet spot. So if you, I'm getting off topic, but like if you have a sheet of paper, it's an exercise that we do when we're trying to get people to be in the space where they need to be, is that you, on the left-hand side, you write down what your skills are. You write down what you're good at. It may not be something that you want to do every day, but you're good at. Maybe it's organization. Maybe it's selling products. Maybe it's the personal touches within the salon. Maybe it's the follow-up, whatever it is. But write that down. Write your skills down. On the right-hand side, write down what you're most passionate about. What fuels you? Maybe it's that customer interaction. Maybe it's going live. Maybe it's doing tutorials. Maybe it's just getting somebody a good cut. Like whatever that is, whatever that fuels you, that you know that you could do every day. And you don't have to be the greatest at it, but that fuels that fire in your belly. Then draw a line in comparison. Whatever it is that connects, that's the same, that's your sweet spot. So just as you are home and maybe you're not in the salon right now, these are some of the components to build your business and be the authority is to do. You have to get to know yourself. And the best way that you can do it is that you have to dig deep into what fuels you and then who you want to hang around with, who you want in your chair, and then you just got to share it. So that's point 2. Okay. So last thing, you have to like cut me off if I'm cutting close on time.
I am like so committing because it's so good. It's so good.
Okay. So number 3, this is where we bring it all together. So we already talked about the how and the what. This is where. So where do we share it? And whatever your experience is with social media, I'm going to give you a couple little creative nuggets that I haven't seen anybody in your industry do. So I think it might be fun to try it. And I really would love for you to post or to share with Kristen and let me know if it works. So obviously we know Instagram is a hot tamale for stylists, right? Everybody's posting great pictures. They are doing Insta stories. You're able to add however hashtags that are relevant to your post. That's great. That is awesome. That puts together a gallery of your before and afters, your tutorial, whatever it is. Instagram is hot. But you know what else is sexy? It's showing up when somebody searches for you. Now, I'm not going to go so dig into search engine optimization, but I want to tell you what's sexy. It's when, and I'm going to put it in my world, when somebody puts web designer near me and my business pops up. That turns me on a little bit. I'm not going to lie, because I know that I've done the work and that my business is showing up, right? So I've done the things. So how can you utilize social media? If you're sitting there watching this and you're like, well, Jen, I don't have a website or I don't have control of our website. So how the heck am I supposed to harness that? Social media. Social media isn't the end all. Now it's just a component, but it's a strong component when it comes down to search engine optimization. And how you can use it is that you want to saturate it. So do not be afraid to claim your handles. And if you're like, what handles? I'm not talking about these handles. I am talking about what comes after. So if you go into Instagram, it's instagram.com/Kristen Veroli. It's facebook.com/ you're creating a page and you're making your name consistent across all of the social media. Those are your handles. Those are what you share. Okay. I want you to go in and I want you to claim them all. Whether you're ready for them or not, I want you to claim them. Because when you are ready, you have them. Sometimes if your name or your business name or your own name is something that is familiar or used often, that it's hard to find those handles. And Kristen's kind of ran into this right now of trying to navigate all your handles. But it matters. That consistency matters. It's not the end all, but it matters. So I want you to claim them. And then I want you to go first. If this is your first time really promoting yourself online, showing up, I just want you to go where you're most comfortable. So I'm speaking to the people who are like, okay, I haven't done this. I've done it for, just connect with my friends, but I haven't really put myself out there. Wherever you're comfortable. If it's Facebook, perfect. Go there. If you're on Twitter and you just love that interaction, that conversation, go there. If it's Instagram, which I feel like is where most of you are probably most comfortable at right now, then go there. And so, but you already claimed all your other handles and you're where you feel most comfortable. So you're starting to create content. After a little while, I want you to start branching out into the other social networks. So how can this be, Jen? If I don't have a website, where do I send them? So do you know that on Facebook and on Instagram, you can do long form posts? So you can write essentially a blog, a how-to, a tutorial. You can write that out and it be lengthy. You can do that on LinkedIn. And I'm going to go there because I think it's important that everybody understand a little nugget. LinkedIn, if you post articles on LinkedIn, that's like having a blog because of the reach that it gets, the searchability that LinkedIn has right now. And I've seen a lot of growth for people getting found because when somebody searches the business or the name, you'll see maybe their website comes up, but if you don't have a website, once again, it's okay. But you'll see those social media profiles popping up. And what I've noticed is LinkedIn is usually up there on top if they have an active LinkedIn presence. It's like what we've seen in Facebook years ago. So I want to encourage you, don't be afraid to go and try new social media networks and start putting out information. Start optimizing those posts, meaning LinkedIn, talk about you from maybe a business perspective. Just talk to the people who come in your chair that are business people that are needing to still get together themselves for Zoom meetings online. Maybe it's a quick tutorial on, hey, I just shared on my LinkedIn, I just shared a LinkedIn story about, I just shared an Insta story about how I put together makeup in under 5 minutes for a Zoom call you weren't expecting. Things like that, where you can drive people to your other networks where you're most comfortable at. So you share on LinkedIn, but you link, when you put that URL link, when you copy and paste, back to Instagram. So you're still showing up, you're still creating content, but you're strategically posting them where you're most comfortable at. And the same thing with Pinterest. Ladies and gentlemen, Pinterest. It is still a very active, very thriving search engine. So if you are one that you love styling your hair, or there's some at-home things that you can do with your fashion, your style, whatever it may be, but I really encourage you, whether it's on Instagram, once again, you have a long form, you have a nice slideshow, you can go over to Pinterest, create a pin, if we're not trying to be perfect here, we're just trying to post, right? So don't worry about making your graphic perfect, just do it. Grab the image and utilize that link and send it back to Instagram. So once again, show it up on a new profile, a very powerful search engine, and you're driving them to where your sweet spot is. Same thing on Twitter. Like Twitter, you should just be posting that stuff right and left, sending them back to your old posts. So those are some, I've called them like quick wins, some easy action that you can take to strategically continue to push your name out there. So where does it all start? You have to show up. You got to get over yourself and know that you have something to offer, because you wouldn't have people sitting in your chair if you didn't. So harness that, show up, create the post, create the content, and then share it strategically. That's what I have to leave today.
Like, I feel like I could just sit here and ask you, because you and I talk all the time, and I feel like this just brought up so many questions for me. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need to get to work. But so much information, so valuable. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think you already answered this question. If somebody watches this back and they say, oh my gosh, like, if they feel that overwhelm, like, oh my gosh, what do I do next? what would be just the most important thing or like the first step that you feel like they should do?
Absolutely. I want you to write down what your target is. It's so much easier to post strategically if you know who you're talking to. If you know that one person that you're going to hit. And most people, and I hear this often, be like, well, Jen, there's so many people that's going to see it, and I'm only speaking to one person. You're speaking to the one person that matters, that's going to come into your chair over and over and over again, right? And there are a lot of them. So I would focus on that, because even if you share to just that one person, it's still going to show up. You're still going to create buzz for yourself. You're still going to, still look for the authority. But I just want you to focus in on who you want in your chair right now. Because if you nail this right now while you're not in the salon, when you walk into those doors, you're going to be further ahead, because you're going to be already powered by the person who you want to sit in that chair. I don't know. That's where I would focus.
Yeah, I mean, that one nugget alone, if somebody watches this back, walking away with that one nugget can totally change the game, because social media is not a popularity contest. It's nice to have likes and tons of followers, but if
Absolutely.
those people are not converting to paying clients in your chair, you're kind of just wasting your time. You have a hobby that takes up a whole lot of time, right? So everything that you shared was just so valuable, and I love that piece, and that's such a great takeaway. If somebody just takes one thing and can be very clear on who their target market, their target client, their ideal person is, that's going to be incredibly helpful for them creating content, showing up, and everything like that. So,
and I want to add one little nugget, because sometimes because you're experts, because you know what you're doing behind the chair, sometimes we forget this. And I do this the same thing on all accounts, is that people don't know. So don't feel, you have to break it down. So don't be afraid to like bring it down. When you come at, and you're talking at a high level, like you're talking one-on-one with Kristen, I know you're using different terms. I know you're talking about products in a different way and how you hold certain things. You have to, if you know your target, you got to remember to talk to them. You're not talking to yourself. You're talking to them at their level. So that's another like nugget when you go along to focusing on your target. You got to picture like you're talking from them one-on-one, because you have to change the way you speak to get their attention, right? I won't be talking about analytics and SEO and those things to you right now. No, I'm breaking it down into where I know you can grab it and run with it. It's the same thing in your industry. So I just want to make sure, because sometimes we get so like quick to jump and do the thing, but you have to remember who's listening, because you've harnessed that person, and then alter the language that you present it in a way that they can just grab it. It's like you make it easy for them. I hate to say dumb it down, and that's what keeps coming to mind, and I'm sorry for that, but like you got to bring it down to that level.
Yeah, no, that's a great point to end on, honestly. Just so good. I feel, again, I just think you're such a wealth of knowledge. I'm so grateful that you, in the midst of your own business, growing your brand and having 2 babies downstairs right now with your husband, taking this time to just share with us. So before we jump off, where can people find you if they want to know more about you, your brands, what you do? Where can they find you?
Hopefully when you put up web designer in Westmoreland County, no, but you can find, for Rainy Day Design comes up. So you can find me behind with my team. We have an awesome business, Rainy Day Design. It's RANEY, daydesign.com. And anywhere you Google will come up. I've worked real hard for that. But we have a Facebook group. So, and I've reignited this Facebook group. It's called Rainy Day Talks Biz. I have a podcast, and I've been dropping some of those bosses in there to just try to get with them one-on-one and to really cultivate how do we leverage the internet to grow our businesses. On the other side, if you are a lady who's trying to grow a business or trying to figure it out and just need some loving, some encouragement, maybe a kick in the pants, and maybe you have kids at home and you're trying to figure it all out, head over to jennifersikowski.com and the Facebook group. It's #GiveYourselfSomeGrace. So I talk a little bit about faith. I talk a little bit about how we show up behind the scenes. I might even sprinkle in some marriage stuff. It's all over there. So that's where you can find me behind the business. Thank you so much, and best of luck. And I cannot wait to hear how this has impacted the Facebook group.